What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. And yeah, I'm a hypocrite. That's why you should never make a video when you're mad, man. When you're mad, you say shit emotionally that you really don't mean. You know what I'm saying? I will never stop talking about social issues, man. But sometimes shit just pisses you off so much, man, and you just frustrated by YouTube and other shit, man. But at the end of the day, I have to talk about certain shit, man. Or I'll just feel like I couldn't even use that handle anymore. I couldn't even use Too Raw for TV. What would be the point of me saying that if I'm censoring myself all the time? Now, I'm gonna be careful in how I say certain things on YouTube, but I have to be me. I've gotta be me. I have to be me. So I have to go at Marcellus Wiley. I've got to be me. Yeah, Marcellus Wiley of Fox Sports recently said that he thought that Colin Kaepernick wasn't qualified to be in the position that he's been in because he hasn't felt the full weight of racism due to the fact that he's of mixed race and he's not from, Compton or the Chi or, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? He don't know the full weight of racism because of that. And, this is my thing, man. I got a lot of stuff I want to say. I've noticed that there's this growing trend of coonism, okay? There's this growing trend of coonism out there. I noticed it on YouTube. There's a plethora of so-called black channels that are allowed to attack black people on a daily basis. All right, they disguise it as them being conservative and attacking liberals, but if you look at their channels, their highest views are when they're attacking black people. You know what I'm saying? Society loves to see black people pitted against one another. It's just something that society loves to see. The mainstream love to see. And interesting that, you even have the Hodge twins out there. The Hodge twins, all their channels are dwindling in ratings and views and failing. And, the fitness community is failing. Their comedy act is probably stalling. So these guys who were never known for their political beliefs, now all of a sudden they're the conservative twins. And now all of a sudden they got a channel that's booming because all they do is shit on black people all day. The ultimate coons, ladies and gentlemen. The Coon twins. But interesting that Marcellus Wiley gets to attack another black person on television, national television, by the way. Is not really penalized for that. But someone like me, an anonymous YouTuber with only 20,000 subs, I can get my channel penalized by YouTube for defending a black person. Now, Marcellus Wiley attacks Colin Kaepernick's qualifications because he's of, quote, mixed race. Now, this is funny to me because when you think about it throughout history, right, many of our authentic black leaders have been either of mixed race or light skin, prominent individuals that come to mind. One person that comes to mind is Booker T. Washington. He was light skinned. Frederick Douglass was of mixed race. W.E.B. Du Bois was of mixed race. The first mayor of Atlanta, Maynard Jackson, I believe was of mixed race. Andrew Young, another former mayor of Atlanta and a follower and contemporary of Dr. King, Andrew Young was light skinned. Angela Davis was light skinned. Rosa Parks was light skinned. Okay? Common is light skinned. So this thing about being a mixed race or what have you, Huey P. Newton, co-founder of the Black Panther Party. How black can you? You can't get no blacker than that. He was light skinned. Thurgood Marshall, the first Supreme Court justice, first black Supreme Court justice of the United States, light skinned. Cornel West, light skinned. Jesse Williams, the actor, light skinned. Now I try to look at it differently. Colorism is a subset of white supremacy. There's certain advantages that, I'll be honest with you, light skinned people might have over dark skinned people in our society in some ways. Okay? But I look at it like this. If the message of equality, if the message of black inequality can be more properly and more effectively voiced by someone who's light skinned, because maybe mainstream America connects with them better for whatever reason, as long as that message gets across, that's the thing that matters the most. Not my ego, you know what I'm saying? Not some uh, grudge that's harbored in my black heart, pardon the pun, like a Marcellus Wiley, because I strongly believe he got some issues, some self issues himself. All right. Now contrast that with the fact that you have a lot of your biggest coons, and I'm dark skinned. I'm as dark as you get, but I'm a observer of certain things. Some of your biggest coons have been dark skinned. Clarence Thomas, okay, Armstrong Williams, Omarosa, okay, Jesse Lee Peterson's pretty dark, and you know what I'm saying, and I can't think of his name, but the guy that ran for president in 2012, the black dude who, you know what I'm saying, had the pizza chains. You guys know what I'm talking about, dark skin. So my point is, the skin color thing has nothing to do with it. You're going to be authentic because you're authentic. Okay, there are coons on both sides if you want to look at it like that. But to me, this whole colorism thing is just another version of white supremacy, but it's just in our community and it's disgusting. Okay, now this thing about Colin Kaepernick being from, Wisconsin, and not understanding the black experience. Well, first of all, let me tell you something. Colin Kaepernick's from Milwaukee, and I think one of the best YouTubers out there, and the only real person on YouTube that I can consider my friend, 78 Sports TV, is from Milwaukee. Okay, Milwaukee has a near 50% incarceration rate when it comes to black males. Milwaukee is one of the poorest cities in America. Police brutality, terrible in Milwaukee. You come to Milwaukee, you will interact with and encounter the real, true black experience in this country. So anybody from Milwaukee has been exposed to police brutality and has been exposed to the black experience. Okay, not just cities where Spike Lee, You know what I'm saying? And the late John Singleton have made movies about are the only cities in America that have experienced, real shit. I'm from Richmond, which had the highest murder rate back in 1994 in the United States. Richmond was the capital of the Confederacy. Richmond is still a de facto segregated city. All you gotta do is go to Richmond and look at how the city is set up. Segregation is still a real thing. It's just not spoken of. Okay? So you don't have to be from Compton, where you're from, to see the black experience. Anyway, Marcellus Wiley, and I gotta point this out, I gotta give a shout out. I gotta give a shout out to Roland Martin because Roland Martin brought this up, but it has to be repeated on here. Marcellus Wiley played in the NFL from 1997 to 2007. Okay, so that's 10 years. And he wants to question why all of a sudden Colin Kaepernick is all, activist when he didn't start like that. Well, maybe because he started off as a young man in his early 20s. He hadn't matured yet, you Nimrod, okay? And it was a shooting of an unarmed man, I believe, in San Francisco by police officers in 2015 that awoken his consciousness, okay? It was also in that area where a homeless man was beaten for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And this guy was white. He was beaten to death by two thugs with a badge. Okay? They weren't out there to protect and serve, but to bully and punish. That's what awoken his consciousness. Okay? But where is any evidence that you've been conscious and spoke out about anything during your 10-year career? Where were you in 1997, Marcellus Wiley? Where were you when Abner Louima, after leaving the club and being mistaken for another assailant, and after it was proven he wasn't that individual, still was taken to a bathroom by police officers and sodomized with a mop handle to the point where he had to have 3 surgeries, corrective surgeries. These police officers were incarcerated. This is 20 some years ago. Where were you? Did you speak out about that? No. Where were you in 1999 when Amadou Diallo was shot 41 times by police officers for reaching for his wallet? There's no evidence of you speaking out on that. Where were you in 2003 when Nathaniel Jones, similar to a situation with Eric Garner, died at the hands of police officers in Cincinnati, where they tried to blame his weight and heart problem for his demise when his death was ruled a homicide by police officers at the hands of police officers? Where were you speaking out? Where were you at the end of your career? You no longer had to worry about any big contracts. You were free to speak out. You didn't have to worry about any of that shit. You could be thinking about your career as an analyst or your aspirations for an analyst. Where were you when Sean Bell was shot 50 times by undercover police officers? Egregiously. Murdered. So you have absolutely no leg to stand on when you want to criticize this man. And for those of you that want to say, why am I so supportive of Colin Kaepernick? I get the criticisms. I've told you guys before that I'm going to watch the NFL this year because I don't see an end game. There's no end game with this situation. Okay, there's no situation where the players are going to lead the NFL, and all of a sudden you're going to have a bunch of black entrepreneurs. You're not going to have a Jay-Z or Michael Jordan or all these other guys. All of a sudden they're going to come together and finance a new league. That's not going to happen. To me, the culmination, or the resolution of this problem, I should say, the resolution of this issue was the settlement. I don't want to see Colin Kaepernick in the NFL. I don't want to see him play in the NFL because I think something bad could happen to him. I don't trust him. But to me, Colin Kaepernick is sort of like the Kurt Flood of his generation. You know what I'm saying? Kurt Flood was a person that sacrificed. Jackie Robinson, as celebrated as he was and is, he was a sacrifice. This is a man that, at the age of 53 when he died, looked 80. So for his sacrifice, I will always honor Colin Kaepernick. But I get the criticisms. Sometimes he's too quiet. Okay? He's too quiet. Maybe he should speak out more. But I think this is how I always felt about Colin Kaepernick. I think Colin Kaepernick is not a born leader, but he did an act which inspired others. So in that sense, he is a leader, but he's not a natural born leader. And as far as Nessa speaking for him, Vanessa, as I think she should be called, has been nothing but apparently a positive influence on his life. But some of you dudes hate black women so much, or women in general, that anything a woman does is seen in a negative light anyway. So it is what it is. All right? But those are my thoughts about the situation. Now, I'm going to talk about this shit on YouTube and on Patreon. But the only thing about on Patreon, I'm going to be totally too raw and uncensored. And if you like my content, you can donate in the links provided in the description box below. I advise you guys to subscribe to Patreon, where I can be even more totally too raw and unfiltered, uncensored. Peace out.